In the lee of a picturesque ridge lies a small, unpretentious winery, one that pampers its fruits like its own babies. Hi, I'm Moria Rose. I'm obviously not Moria Rose. I wish I was Moria Rose. I love Moria Rose.
Oh, John, these door frames. It's like trying to force oneself through the eye of a needle.
But I'm in fact Ant, and you're watching a brand new episode of Cooking with Ant. Now this series is usually about gross and weird food recipes, vintage cooking, stuff you wouldn't want to put in your mouth. And this time it's a little bit different and it's a little bit special because I found this book online. It tastes like shit.
Ew, David!
And it's obviously the unofficial, official Schitt's Creek recipe book. And I thought this would be fantastic to have a little look through and to make a 3-course meal.
Fancy.
I'm gonna do a starter, a main, and a drink. I know you're probably expecting a dessert, but I decided to go for a drink. And see what it's like, and I can live my fantasy of being in the fictional world of Schitt's Creek, because that's where I belong. This is where I need to be. I actually haven't watched Schitt's Creek in about a month or so, which is a record for me. So I might need to, you know, brush up on a certain few things. I might not know everything, so it's not fresh in my mind, although it might be, because I think some of it is literally ingrained into my brain. I've watched it that many times.
And I said, we'll make a pretty penny on that one.
Okay, let's have a little look at this book. By the way, this is by Hannah and Rachel Floyd. It's got 75 delicious recipes inspired by the show. And it also says on the bottom, it's not officially associated with the Schitt's Creek television program produced and copyrighted by and not a real holding company incorporated. That's the legal bit, because obviously this isn't Schitt's Creek approved. I don't know whether you would need approval for something like this. I'm not sure. So let's have a little look, see what we want to make. I've already bookmarked a few pages that I want. It's got breakfasts, appetizers, mains, snack sides and sauces, drinks and desserts. And they've obviously all got some sort of reference to Schitt's Creek, and they're very clever puns too. I really thoroughly enjoy it. I was doing a little bit of reading, and I never read.
Illiterate until she was 20.
I was reading through this and I was thoroughly enjoying myself. Right, let's go for our first one. And it's Moira's Fruit Cup. By the way, if you're watching this video and you've never seen Schitt's Creek before,
Sign the fucking contract!
a lot of this stuff might not really make sense to you, and I would highly recommend watching the show. So we've got Moira's Fruit Cup. It's a Café Tropical favourite. Yes, because if obviously you've watched the show, they'll go to the cafe and Moira will always order a fruit cup. Other people will order other specific things from the menu, but fruit cup is heavily featured. So the first thing I'm going to need is 1 heaping tablespoon of honey. I'm just using clear runny honey, and I'm pretty sure this is fake honey. I don't think it's real at all, but it tastes delicious. Also, it wants a zest of a lemon. I didn't buy a lemon because I forgot. But I know it wants lemon juice at some point, so I might just stick a bit of lemon juice in. Oh, it does. It wants a tablespoon of lemon juice. Why a tablespoon? That's a lot. There you go. A tablespoon of warm water. And it also wants a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. Oops, there we go. And then a pinch of sea salt. Also, I didn't buy any sea salt because I was just planning on using regular table salt, because why not? Salt. But I did find some sea salt, and I don't know when I actually bought this. And I just had a look there. This apparently expired on the 18th of April, 2015. And that's it there if you didn't believe us. But the thing is, does salt go off? I don't think salt can physically go off. Just like I don't think sugar can go off. So I'm just gonna use it. I don't really care. If I get sick, then I get sick. There's no mold or anything, is there? What's that? No, I think it's fine. We'll soon find out when I wake up tomorrow and I'm really poorly.
Thank you.
There we go. Fancy having that since 2015. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put it right back in the cupboard. Okay, so that's the dressing done. So now it wants the main component of the fruit cup. It wants a cup of pomegranate arills.
What does that mean?
And I don't know what arills are, but I'm thinking it's these things. And I looked for a fresh whole pomegranate at the supermarket and I couldn't find one. The only thing I could find was a pre-cut one, which is fantastic because it saves me time.
This is really pathetic.
And I'm not a huge fan of pomegranate, to be fair. And it wants a full cup of it, does it? I like the flavour of pomegranate. I just don't like the hard seed bits inside. If the hard seed bits weren't there, I would actually quite enjoy it. It now also wants 1 pear diced. I do enjoy pear. Also, although I'm following the recipe, it does say on here, tips and tricks, the options for customising this fruit cup are as plentiful as Moira's wig collection. So you can add different fruits if you want to. And I do love Moira's wigs. I want all of Moira's wigs.
And Cindy Cindy, my lord, Cindy, I just gave her a blowout.
Also, I feel like I've picked some very healthy options, which is kind of good because I've just had a cholesterol check this morning yet again. So I'm waiting to see what the results are of that. Yes, we're still not finished that conversation about my cholesterol. You knew it would be coming up again.
Yay.
And apparently, if it's high this time, they're going to refer us to a lipid clinic. And I didn't know what a lipid clinic was, so I just nodded along like an idiot. And I was like, yeah, okay. Apparently, a lipid clinic is a clinic that specialises in fatty blood.
You fat bitch.
So that's gorgeous. I'm excited for that. I was wondering though, because I consider myself to be quite active, I exercise, I eat relatively healthy. But then the one thing I was thinking as I was there about what I could do to kind of reduce my cholesterol and stuff, the only other thing that I kind of eat that I know for a fact is massively high in cholesterol, and I eat a lot of it, is mayonnaise. I eat a shitload of mayonnaise. I love mayonnaise. And I was just looking online there, and apparently vegan mayonnaise, obviously it doesn't have the eggs in it, so it doesn't have the cholesterol. That's where the cholesterol comes from. So I think when I go to the shops next time, I might swap my mayonnaise for a vegan mayonnaise, because I don't mind vegan stuff, it's fine. We'll see if that does anything. You can also apparently buy these little yogurt drinks that help lower your cholesterol. So I'm going to try a few more bits instead of doing literally nothing. I was doing nothing before, just hoping it would come down naturally. Like literally no one cares about my cholesterol, but I will continue to still let everyone know about it. I'm sure there's at least one person who's very excited about my cholesterol journey.
There isn't.
And thank you to you for paying attention. Now it needs 2 medium apples diced, Honey Crisp or similar. I've got 2 apples here and I've gone for jazz apples, because they're very sweet and delicious. Another sad thing that you might want to know about me, don't know whether anyone cares.
No!
They probably don't. But my preferred apple used to be a gala apple, but I've had a few really bad gala apples recently. And the reason I didn't go for jazz apples before, even when I've gone back to jazz apples,
I can see this is going to take a while.
is because I was eating a jazz apple one time, and in the center of it, it had like this almost like slimy gelatinous heart looking thing in the middle of it. I don't know whether like a seed had mutated and it had turned into this like jelly thing, and it really put me off jazz apples for a while. But I've gone back to them, and I'm just hoping I don't find any little hearts inside them, because I don't know what's going on with the gala apples lately. Just must have had like a really bad, what's it called? What's it called when they grow things? Harvest? Is that the word I'm looking for? Possibly, I don't know. That's another very boring thing about me. Yous all know my apple choice. As if I have an apple choice, like come on. I joke sometimes about how sad I am. Then I say something really sad and I'm like, I think there's some truth in it. It also wants 1.5 cups of grapes halved. I'm not gonna halve them. I'm not a child. You half a grape to stop children choking on them. That's the whole point. I'm not a child. I will never choke on a grape. Well, never say never actually. I've probably jinxed myself now. You'll just have it on video, me collapsing on the floor, asphyxiating over a grape. I think I'm just gonna stick 1 cup of grapes in. I think that'll be enough. Okay, and we need to mix this up, get all that dressing kind of on it, and then we're going to put this in the fridge for at least 30 minutes before serving to allow the flavours to meld. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Stick this in the fridge, and then we'll move on to our next course. So since I'm on a bit of a health kick at the moment, I chose again another very healthy recipe. So we're gonna go for a happy ending massaged kale salad. And if you don't know what the reference is to the happy ending, that is the massage David got before his wedding. That resulted in a happy ending, which was obviously hilarious.
I just assumed you knew what you were paying for. I was both shocked and impressed.
I love Schitt's Creek. I think I'm gonna have to watch it again. It says you don't have to pay extra for this happy ending, but be sure to really spend a few minutes massaging the olive oil into the kale leaves for a truly blissful salad experience. We're gonna start with a dressing first, and it wants it in a mason jar for some reason. So for this dressing, it wants 6 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, the most expensive thing on planet Earth at the moment. It's gonna be a lot of oil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It also wants 1.5 tablespoons of orange juice. I bought one with bits. I thought that would be more authentic. Is this not gonna curdle? Look at that, just like floating in the oil. I also wish, and I know loads of people have mentioned this before, we stopped doing this. Attaching lids to everything, it pisses us off. It is the most pointless thing on planet Earth. Literally doesn't make any sense at all. I don't understand who thought of this, or whether it, I don't know, reaches some sort of like green goal or some bullshit like that, but it doesn't do anything. It literally doesn't do do anything.
Stop it!
It just bothers us. Just something that irritates us. Right, it wants 1.5 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. I hate balsamic vinegar. Can't stand it. Like, why does anyone think this flavour is nice? It's because I'm not a vinegary person. I've said it many, many times before, I hate vinegar. Balsamic vinegar is just like, I don't know, thicker vinegar, isn't it? Well, you've ruined that. Thank you very much. It also wants 1.5 tablespoons of maple syrup. Obviously, maple syrup is very expensive, and I could have bought maple flavoured syrup. Which I thought was cheating, and considering Schitt's Creek is a Canadian show, I thought it was only fair to show support, and I think I bought produce of Canada. I bought your own maple syrup and it cost me £500,000. I'm sure Canada gets it very cheap because, well, they have all the trees, don't they? To you, Schitt's Creek. It's very good, mind, isn't it? With a light and subtle sweet maple flavour. I don't know whether I get the maple flavour. It just tastes delicious. Oh, this might counteract the horrible balsamic then. 1/2 tablespoon of salt. I might just use the sea salt because that was a bit fancy, wasn't it? 1/2 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. And then a zest of an orange. Why is the dressing like so bougie? Like, it is insanely bougie. I need to shake vigorously and set aside. Now for the actual salad. So the main component of the salad is kale, obviously. It's called a happy ended massaged kale salad. And I looked everywhere in Tesco, and I know for a fact you can buy kale in Tesco because I've bought it before and I don't like kale. It's fine, but it just doesn't taste of anything. It's just like a rough, coarse, green thing. And anyway, I looked everywhere and I couldn't find kale. So I'm just going to use a mixed bag of salad. I don't know why I couldn't find kale. I thought kale was supposed to be like super popular. Obviously not in the northeast.
Butter.
So I want a drizzle of olive oil. Yep. The juice of 1/2 an orange. Ooh, this will be a very zesty salad. I'm excited. By the way, this isn't how I would normally make a salad. My salad is a very traditional salad, like tomato, cucumbers, peppers, etc. This is just like, it's fancy. It's incredibly fancy.
Sleep in heavenly peace.
Right, and then we get all sexy, and for 2 to 3 minutes we massage our salad and give it a happy ending.
Luna de noche, canto por ti. Tú no responde, luna te perdí por otra mujer.
Okay, I think that was sexy enough. I think that was very sexy, actually. Right, I need to wash my hands. My hands have turned into Alexa's hands.
Hey, why are you yelling at me?
Now it wants oranges sliced. It doesn't want the oranges yet, we're just peeling it. These go on at the end. Can you imagine if you actually had time to make this yourself? Like, who would actually make this for the dinner? Because it's like a proper arse on. Like, why not just have a sandwich? Pour the dressing over the salad and toss to combine. Top with oranges, pistachios, and chèvre. It can't want the whole dressing, because that's a lot of dressing. I'm gonna add a little bit of this, because this has already got loads of oil on it. There, I think that's enough for me. It wants a 1/3 cup of pistachios. It did want them chopped, but like, I'm not going to chop these tiny little nuts because I can't be arsed. And then it also wants crumbled chèvre. I couldn't find chèvre and I had no idea what chèvre was. Apparently it's a goat's cheese, and I found chavroux, so I feel like that's the same thing because it sounds very, very similar. Don't know whether I like goat's cheese. Have I tried goat's cheese before? I'm very uncultured, aren't I? Oh, it's kind of like the blue cheese. It's got like a thing over the top of it. Alright, it's fine. I find all these cheeses, like blue cheese and goat's cheese and stuff, all kind of like rich bougie people, like proper bum it. And I don't know whether it's worth the hype. It's nice and it's creamy, but it doesn't have a lot of flavour. Like, personally, I think I'd rather just have a cheddar. At least I'd actually have some sort of like cheesy flavour. Oh my god, look at that. Fancy. Yep, so that's done. I'm gonna put this to one side now as well, because we want to drink, and then we'll have our full 3-course meal, because that'll be exciting, won't it?
No.
Also, I don't know whether anyone cares about this video. I don't even know whether there'll be a demand for this video, but just know if you are watching, I'm thoroughly enjoying myself because I feel like I'm living in Schitt's Creek. I know it sounds very sad and I'm really not bothered, but it does. I really want to go to Canada where they shot a lot of Schitt's Creek and just kind of explore and stuff. I think if I save up enough money one time, I'll go to Canada and I'll bring yous all along with us and I'll film it and we'll go see all the sights, see the motel and everything, because I think some of the locations are actually still there. But that's a future video when Ant has a bit more money, because at the moment he's saving for something else. Right, Right, and what drink are we gonna accompany this delicious meal with? We're gonna go for a bit of barn punch. And obviously, if you know Schitt's Creek, you'll know that that's referencing Mutt's barn, where lots and lots of things happened in there, and it was very, very exciting.
What? There's no fundraiser?
Oh, a bit of trivia here. It says many fans consider the finale of season 2, Happy Anniversary, to be a turning point for the Rose family. Throughout the episode, the 4 Roses can be seen accepting their circumstances and embracing their life in Schitt's Creek, and I would wholeheartedly agree. It's up there with one of my favourite parts of an episode. There's lots of different parts I absolutely love, and I've got loads of favourites, but one of my favourite parts is when Johnny and Moira are having their anniversary dinner with the rich people that they used to know in their past life, who hadn't bothered with them or anything like that, and they kind of fob off Jocelyn and Roland for their anniversary meal because they didn't want to spend any time with them. And then obviously they catch up with them at this meal, and then that's when the rich couple are proper slagging off Schitt's Creek and stuff, and Johnny and Moira stand up for Roland and Jocelyn and Schitt's Creek, and that moment, it's so heartwarming and just so lovely. Don't know whether anyone else agrees. Well, obviously a lot of people agree because it's a little bit of trivia there.
It's not called Shittsville. It's called Schitt's Creek. And it's where we live.
Also, this serves 10 people and I don't want 10 barn punches. So I'm just going to improvise and do my own. So it wants some cranberry juice. It also wants some apple juice. Orange juice. There's lots of juices in this. I think it's going to be rather fruity. And then it also wants champagne. Oh my god, fancy. Oh, if we were in Schitt's Creek, this would be, is it Zampagne or Champagne or something? It's like a fake champagne. And in true Schitt's Creek fashion, I did buy a cheap version of champagne. Cremant de l'eau brut.
J'adore!
Oh, that sounded very French there, didn't it? I'm personally not a fan of champagne or Prosecco or any sparkling wine. I just don't like it. I prefer my wine flat, fruity, and black tower. Whoa, that was a good pop, a very good pop. Let's just have a little try of this. I know I'm not gonna like it. It's just rank. Is this even champagne? I don't know, but it has a very specific flavour. It was produced in France, so I'm assuming it has to be champagne. You know what it reminds us of, and it's gonna sound very strange, like an old leather couch. That's what I would think. If you bottled up an old leather couch, it would taste like champagne. Don't know whether that makes sense. It probably doesn't, but that's what I feel like it's like. Right, and in that goes. And just pour it over ice. Oh, this looks fancy actually. I don't think this is going to be too bad. So now I need to get all the other bits together. Right, so for this fruit cup, I obviously want to decant this into a cup. I say a cup. I don't have a fancy cup for fruit, so I'm just using a regular glass. Okay, so we have, for starters, a lovely Moria Rose fruit cup. Then we have our gorgeous massaged not kale salad because I couldn't find any kale. And to wash it all down, we have some barn punch. Right, let's start with the fruit cup. See what this is like. This is one of Moira's favourites. I'm going to get into the mentality of Moira. Twyla, I'll just have a fruit cup. I feel like Moira already. It's good. It's a bit heavy on the cinnamon. It's very cinnamony. Was this the one I put maple syrup in? Because it could do with more maple syrup. Very delicious though. I'll have a little bit of the pomegranate on it as well. Yep, it feels very fresh, very light. If I was personally making this, this would be drenched in double cream because I'm a proper slut for double cream. Still delicious, lovely. Let's try this fancy salad. I'm not going to decant this into a bowl because I'm just serving myself, so it seems a bit pointless. Right, I'll try and get all the bits. Bit of orange. It's a very unusual salad. I don't know if I went to a restaurant, I'd be too happy about being served this, but if you want a closer look at it, that's what it's like. It looks lovely though, doesn't it? Oh, there's like so much happening in one mouthful. I kind of don't know what to concentrate on. I've got the creaminess of the cheese. The orange just instantly takes over. The nut's nice. Very like nice little crunch. I can kind of taste the hint of the balsamic in the background, but it's not overpowering. I feel like the orange is a bit too much, if I'm totally honest with you. I would have personally added something like a cucumber or something. Just something a little bit less like in your face. It's nice though, I'd be happy to obviously get served this and eat it. And finally it's time for my barn punch. Cheers everyone! Right, I have high hopes on this. I love the barn. The barn's... By the way, that was a fancy barn. Like, you think about a barn, that was a very well decorated, lovely rustic, very sexy barn. If Mutt invited me over to the barn, I'm not going to say what I would do, but I would be on all fours. Oh my god, that is fresh. That is very fresh. I tell you what this is. This is like a summer day drink. It's weird because it all complements each other so much so that I can't actually distinguish a single flavour. It all just kind of melds into one another. This is a very nice cocktail. Whoever invented this and thought the recipe, well done, because it's very delicious. I think I would like maybe a bit of vodka in it or like a bit of tequila. Make it a bit more boozy, but that might just be me. This would be a fantastic drink to have at a wedding reception. And not that expensive really. I suppose it's just the champagne. All the other juices and stuff, like pretty cheap. And you could just always go for like a proper shit champagne because it honestly doesn't really matter. 10 out of 10 for that. Barn punch, yes please, I'll have more. Anyway, I think that just about does it for a Schitt's Creek special of Cooking with Ant. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And let me know down in the comments, will you be making any of these recipes? By the way, if you're not a drinker of alcohol, you can replace the champagne in this for, I think it said like a ginger beer or something, which I think would be really nice too. And if you are a Schitt's Creek fan, maybe think about getting this book. Do you want to see some more recipes from it? Shall I make some more? I don't mind.
No!
I could make goat cheese nom noms.
Never say nom nom again.
Love the word nom nom. I think I started using nom nom from Schitt's Creek. I could make the shit family cheese ball.
I will be dining out on this for years. I'll send you the
We
recipe.
could have an appetizer of love that journey for you guacamole.
La 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 la.
Blouse pan bruschetta.
These are stupid.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll see you next week for a brand new video. In the lee of a picturesque ridge lies a small, unpretentious winery, one that pampers its fruit like its own babies. Hi, I'm Moria Rose, and if you love fruit wine as much as I do, then you'll appreciate the craftsmanship and quality of a local vintner, who brings the musk melon goodness to his oak chardonnay, and the dazzling peach crab apple to his riesling rioja. Come taste the difference good fruit can make in your wine. You'll remember the experience, and you'll remember the name. Herb Erflinger, Bert Hangleaf, Irv Herblumblur, Bing Livehanger, Liveling, Bert Herkron, Ban Bingo Lingfucker.